Good evening, welcome to Full Time Reds. It's me, Chris Brack, and it's him, Kev O'Sullivan. Full time Liverpool 2, Napoli 0. Fucking hell, Kev, we saw a win. Jesus,
we got a win, mate. We got a win to talk about. I am absolutely fucking delighted because at 7 o'clock tonight, I was not expecting to be talking about a win, and that's the truth. But hey, delighted with a lot of things tonight. Happy with an awful lot of things, and we had a bit of luck and a bit of the rub of the green when we needed it, and some players really stood up tonight. I was more than happy with everything that happened. So all is good. All is good in the hood.
Yeah, listen, I'm not gonna lie, mate. I've never been more happy to actually have a family do to go to. But after watching that Forest game, I was thinking, Leeds game, I was like, I'm so glad about a family do tonight.
That was our graph. That was, to be fair, but tonight is a different kettle of fish, and I saw the lineups, and we reverted straight back to the 4-3-3. Go with what you know, and it showed. It showed in the patterns of play. It showed in the press. It showed in the legs of some of the players. They looked a lot more comfortable in it. Saying that, Napoli are a high level side, man. That was a high level game. You know what I mean? Arj asking where my glasses are, mate. As my missus would say, unless I glued to your head, I'll never see them. I've put them down somewhere, and I don't know where they are. And it was like 3 minutes past 10. And I just thought, nah, I can't be arsed looking for them now. I'll put them down somewhere, so I'll find them probably sometime Friday.
Plus, as Klopp said after the Norwich win years ago, ever tried looking for glasses when you haven't got your glasses on? Said it's really fucking difficult, which is very true. Dino's just put, not bothered about the draw. Remember a few years ago during Atletico Madrid, they were mid-table at the time, and yeah, that was a nightmare, wasn't it? Remember?
Yeah.
Plus, the other thing is, the big thing is, I always say it around this time of year, there's no point judging how we're playing now because it's a lot can change now. February. Now, listen, we could go worse, but let's look at the positive.
But the other side of it is we could go an absolute madness. We are capable of doing crazy things. So,
and we've seen this before with sides who have done really well in group stages, like a Napoli, and then when it comes to February. Key injuries, loss of form, so you
anything can happen, man. Anything can happen.
I'm not going to lie. I'd rather avoid Real Madrid and PSG if we can and Bayern.
Yeah,
I'd rather not play them. But we are who we are. But
Don't worry about that later. Enjoy tonight for what it is, man.
Yeah. Listen, after the last two games, I'll take anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you start with the lineups. Look, and what did you think first and foremost? Because
it was a little stronger than I was expecting, to be honest. Because
I
was thinking in my head, to top the group, you've got to win 4-0. And to be honest, I think Liverpool peak at their best would struggle to beat this Napoli side 4-0. They have got something about them. I think, we might have got 2-0 a bit quicker, but I don't know. It's a little bit stronger than I was expecting. But then again, I suppose when you look at it, it was just them playing a load of kids. It would have been starting Bajcetic, starting Carvalho, starting, Ramsey.
You're doing them no favours.
Yeah, what you don't want to do is them to get battered 3 or 4 goals. It doesn't matter because it's a dead rubber, but then it kills the confidence. And I do wonder if that's why I would have started Carvalho, just give the lad a run. But I wonder, the last 2 starts he had in the league haven't gone well for him. Listen, he was done no favours in the derby, playing him centre mid in a derby for your first start. A bit of a tough ask. And then, look, he got thrown in, and the Nottingham Forest game was a bit of a shit show. So I do wonder.
Well, go through it then. You had Alisson in goal. You had Trent, Konate, Virgil, and Costas.
Mm-hmm.
Midfield 3 of Thiago, Fabinho, and the old fella.
Yep.
And up front, you had Salah, Bobby, and Curtis Jones.
Jones on the left, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you look at it and you're thinking, okay, we don't play again until Sunday 4:30. So there's enough recovery time in there for the players to play. Thiago's fresh because he hadn't played for a while. Fabinho, was the one I'd say you could turn around and say, look, he could have probably done with a rest, but seeing as Henderson was indoor training and not involved at all in match day, that kind of limits your options. And unless you want to throw Stefan in from the very start, your options are really limited in that 6 role. So,
and there was no Henderson in the squad because he's been kept out precautionary. So again, maybe if Henderson was fit, he might have started and given Thiago a rest or took Fabinho out. So, I mean, look, first half, you, me, and messaged each other said it was a real tactical first half, wasn't it? You know, it was two sides really feeling each other out. Not massive chances, but I was probably some of the better chances fell to Liverpool. 2 of them fell to Jones.
Yeah.
And Thiago got a really good chance. But I mean, the Jones chances, it's a tight angle where he tries to chip it over the keeper. You know, I think if it goes in, it's a great goal. He probably should do better with the header. He probably should go down rather than go up.
But the first one, he had really good control to create the space for himself. Because
that was his position when he played for the under-23s, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's what he's really good at. You know, for someone who's 6'1", his technical ability on the ball and his close control is really good. And it's something that will develop in time. He'll physically get stronger. You know, I mean, that was his first, you know, proper game, proper start with players in the shape that they want to play in a long time. So, and that's probably his preferred position as well. He's not playing as a second CDM. I mean, that's just not his game, you know. So,
yeah,
you know, he needs to stay fit now, so that he's just, if he can stay fit and become an option, then we'll see through the season, you know, what's what with him. But on tonight's 65 or 70 minutes, whatever it was, I thought he was really good. I was really happy with him.
Yeah, if he can maintain that level.
Yeah,
sure. You'll hear very little grumblings about him.
Yeah,
I think some of the grumblings with Jones is he's been unfortunate. He's got injured at key times when you probably could have done with him, and then he gets thrown in the number 6 away at Forest, which isn't his position, and then you go in. But it looks like Alad's not played for 6 months, and that's kind of his problem. Cameron makes a good point. Is the crowd was good tonight, and this is what you need going through a transition into the golden end of the season. So top 4 pushing 3 trophies should be the aim. I think that has to be the aim. Top 4 has to be the aim at the moment. You know, there's no point talking about titles and things.
No. Forget that. Top 4 is the be all and end all. Anything else you get on top of that's a bonus.
I think so.
But top 4 is everything. I think someone was just asking there about Milner. We'll get to him.
We'll get to him.
But
we haven't officially heard what it was yet.
Come back to him.
We have a suspicion what we think it is, but we have
a suspicion what we think it is, but we don't know for sure. So if anyone is watching Klopp's post-match, if anything is mentioned on that, please throw it in the chat as usual. Also, if you could smash the like button, really would help us out. The more people who hit the like button, the more people get into the channel and get to put their points of view across, and that's what we need to see.
Laz was asking, can we laugh at Rangers for a minute? Rangers set a new record. Apparently, if they conceded 2 goals tonight, they became the worst side in Champions League group stage history, apparently.
I have literally only just found out about the Spurs result. I give 0 Fs about any other game tonight. I couldn't give a flying top of this. I don't know what the score was.
Well, I literally flicked over because I knew after a full-time an hour, and literally as I flicked over, it was 1-1. They were saying Spurs are begging the ref to blow the whistle. And literally, if you just kick it up to Harry Kane, and Marseille have left 1 man at the back, so I think they needed the win.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, they needed the win.
They played through it to Højbjerg. To be fair, if you haven't seen it, Kev, it's a cracking goal. Højbjerg scores to win it in the 96th minute. I mean, to be fair, it's a great one. The concern for if you're a Spurs fan is I think someone off on half an hour, and I'll be honest, he looked really wobbly in his legs. I don't know if that's a concussion injury.
It
didn't look.
Don't like to see that at all with any player, to be honest.
But another big shock. That's 3. I think it's going to be 3 of the 4 Spanish sides aren't going to be in the knockout stage. When was the last time we saw that? 3.
It's been a long time. A long time.
Barca Europa, Seville will probably finish Europa. Atletico Madrid aren't even in Europe. That's how far they fall in.
Couldn't happen to a nicer club.
No.
About time that toxic level of football was rewarded for what it deserves in life.
The stars are aligning for us to get Porto again. Fucking hope so.
I would take that. Although, do you know what?
Porto played.
I know. Saying you don't judge sides on their current form in February or what have you, but I gotta admit, the times I've watched the Portuguese football this season, Benfica and Sporting and Porto are on a level at the minute. They're good sides. They're playing really good football as well. So we'll see what happens in February. But I mean, of the options, they're the ones you want.
They're the ones you want compared to the other options you could have.
Yeah.
Oxen is saying to me it's never happened before. First time ever. Three of the Spanish sides haven't qualified for the knockout stage.
Yeah. Wow. I'm not surprised. It's I mean, when you think of the dominance that Real have and the dominance that Barcelona had for such a long time, you'd have to really be going back probably to the days when it was either straight knockout as a European Cup, which there was only ever one side and the holders in, or the very early days of the Champions League when it was 2 group stages. You know, so it's what it is.
John was saying a draw would have kept them in the Europa League, but now they're out completely. They obviously went for glory, trying to get the Champions League spot, and didn't work out for them as well. I do think Dino points out Benfica are flying at the moment because I think tomorrow Benfica are away at Maccabi Haifa and PSG are away at Juventus. They're both on equal points, so I think Benfica just have to better PSG score.
Newell's,
Juventus are poor though. That's the problem.
Yeah. Owen Newell's comment there about what Klopp was saying. He just said being compact and making all the right makes all the right differences. It's what we've been missing all season. Let's talk about that. Like I said at the start of this game, it was a really technical, tactical game. I thought it was played on a really high level. I was impressed watching this because, look, it was a bit end-to-end at times, but I honestly believe that this Napoli side will be in and around the last 8, last 4 going on to the season if they keep this level up.
Nobody wants to play.
They're a serious side. They're a serious side. And we matched them up man for man, and overall, I think we got the better of it, and I think we deserved the result on the night. But that left winger of theirs for €9 million, what a snip that kid looks.
I just call him number 77 because I can't.
Yeah, I just call him the kid who plays in the left wing because I'm just not that verbally gifted.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. That is smart. That's what you call smart recruitment. Because he's ridiculous.
That's just Johnny on the spot, right place, right time, making a phone call. And take a look at this kid. Here you go. Have €9 million, and we'll take him off your hands. He was really good. But the pressing from the front looked on point tonight, and it looked more energetic and more organized. And the bits that I loved about this especially the first half, was how snide Fabinho was, and he was channeling his inner Fernandinho. He got away with holy war tonight. He got away with more.
He was very Fernandinho, wasn't it? It
was brilliant. I loved it. Absolutely beautiful to see. Loved it.
I mean, to be honest, he couldn't pass a fucking ball tonight, though. We'll have to.
No, but his job is in there as a destroyer to break play up, to make it uncomfortable, stop counterattacks, and he did everything of that sort really good. He was always there as an out ball, as from the defense and from the keeper, and just give it simple, and that's fine. If he does that in a game and breaks play up, that's his job. I'm happy with that. Thiago was really good again. You know, he looked more like his old self. You know, it looked like he was.
Scouser Pete say the kid who plays on the left wing in English translates his name as Kev. So we'll call him Kev.
It's your man, the geezer. The fella out there wide. You know, I look. He looks a right player, and I think it'll take a lot of money to get him out of Napoli. And look,
I mean, if
he's a proper player.
He did skin Trent a few times for open minutes, but he outpaced Canate. He outpaced Canate, which I'll be honest, there are not many that outpaced Ibu. No. And I actually thought Trent did all right tonight.
Yeah, I thought Trent was good. I thought Trent was absolutely fine. His passing range was brilliant tonight, and the best.
Still a bit deeper though as well. It wasn't quite marauding as much as he has done.
But he doesn't have to. The whole point what I liked about tonight was the front three press. The midfield went as a unit, and the full backs they hunted in packs when they could, and there was it was organized. There was method to it, And they're a good side. They're going to get through from time to time. But when they got through, it was rushed. And they were forcing passes. Like the amount of times their centre backs were playing crossfield balls and it went out for a throw. All that stuff, that's all brilliant because it just gives you the ball back. Ibu, the lads in the chat are there talking about Ibu Konate tonight. Ibu, the option that he gives you to take the ball out of defence, like Joel Matip.
Oh, he's in a Matip came on tonight, didn't he?
Yeah, but when he does that, and when he takes it forward, he brings the striker with him. So that means your only out ball now is up to Osimhen, who's got Virgil on him, and Fabinho has already dropped back. So that's what they were doing. When Konate was going, Fabinho was just dropping back on the cover, and you saw it over and over and over. But as Ibu went forward, the striker followed him back. So that took him out of the game. And as long as you don't do something stupid and lose it on the halfway line, that's a great out ball. That's a great option because it just opens up the pitch. It creates havoc.
Yeah, and Jake's saying that's Napoli's first loss in like 30 games.
Yeah, Empoli, I think, was the last side to beat them last season. You know, that's why I say this side is no joke. They're racking up. I think they were averaging 4 goals a game in this group. You know, and that's why when I saw the lineup and I saw their lineup and I saw that they'd only made like 2 or 3 changes, I thought, okay.
Yeah, it was the young lad at left back who played well actually for them. He kept Mo pretty quiet in the first half, and I think it was a young centre back. I think that's about it, really.
Yeah, young centre back. I like Kim.
Kim, yeah, he looked good.
He was player of the month in Italy for the first month of the season, and you can see why. He just looks like a proper defender. He looks like a defender who loves defending. He ain't the quickest, he ain't the most mobile, but he just looks like a proper unit, you know. And
yeah,
that's what I mean. I look at their side; they're solid. They're really good. You know what I mean? And that's not to. I know there was nothing on the game, but that game wasn't played tonight as if there was nothing on it. They wanted to win. They wanted that hoodoo of winning in England off their back. You know, they wanted to be able to sit because last thing they're going to want to do now is come to England in the knockout stages with that hanging over them that they've never won in England. You know,
and they've also never got past the last 16, have they? I mean, you sort of think they might do this time. Very frustrating. Jake saying very frustratingly inconsistent, but tonight and City showed there's still a lot of fight in these guys. I'm not going to read the full thing. Keep the faith, lads. Yeah, and look, the ability's there. I think the question we've all had is the legs there to do it? Yeah. I do think there is also a bit of a mental break that they need because it's a nice way. It's easy to get up for a Champions League game and get up for City.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. I mean,
you've got to sort of get the hard
on the day of the Leeds game. I was as frustrated as anyone else, and it wasn't until a couple of days later that I watched the highlights back, and I saw the chances we had. We created enough really good half chances that Meslier made 10 saves on the day, and most of the saves were straight at him. If you're more clinical in front of goal, it wasn't as if we weren't creating chances. And I listened to Spalletti's interview at the start of tonight's game, and he stopped the commentator in his tracks, and he was like, hang on, Leeds had one chance in that second half when Liverpool were trying to go and win a game. They got caught with a sucker punch. Other than that, they did nothing. You know, yeah, they ran a lot, but they ran a lot because we had the ball and we pulled them all over the pitch. You know, it's easy. It's hard on the day when you're minutes talking after a game and you're frustrated as you like. Same with Forest. Their 6 points massively dropped and massively frustrating. But you know, there are patches in those games where we looked all right. And when you look at how threadbare the squad is, having players coming back, the likes of a Curtis Jones, needs to stay fit now and needs to stay as an option. He needs to be the one for the next 6 months to show his worth and say, I add value to this squad. You know, I'm not going to be a headache for you come next summer. There are other areas of the pitch where we need sorting. I want Curtis Jones. I'm hoping that Curtis Jones puts his hand up and say, yeah, I can box off that position now. I can trust him now. but he needs to stay fit. And
he does. But my argument will be, listen to chances that can happen, but make sure you don't lose the game, because the goal we concede.
It was just off his shin. It rolled up his shin.
But there's 4 or 5 who could cut that out.
I know. But that's the frustration.
Doing that really annoying habit he has now of trying to do a back heel tackle, which I don't think's ever come off.
I know. And I get the frustration side of it. But it's not as if we've been played off the park by anyone. The only side this season really that played us off the park was Napoli. And they gave us a right hiding. And it was an alarm bells absolutely ringing to say, look, guys, this ain't on. And tonight, for me, the result aside, forget about the result for a sec. The fact we won 2-0 is lovely and all that. But the fact that we raised our game and we more than matched our intensity, our press was back. We looked like the fight was there, the intensity in the running was there, but the organization in the press was there. That's what I'll take away from this. The 2-0 win, lovely, happy days. But everything else that went with it tonight, more than happy.
Nays put Kev/Keith. I'll take Keith then as a name. Don't get sucked into the win. You know what happens. Yeah, I don't know who's Keith, but never mind.
Dude, seriously? I mean, I know Chris is pushing the sides there, but
I know. How rude. That's worse than losing, man. How rude. I'm only kidding, Keith. I wish I did sing the voice. But listen, let's go. True. So half time, it's 0-0, good tactical game. I think the only big chance we had was the Thiago chance, which it's a nice hit, but I'll be honest, it's a hit you'd expect.
It's a telegraph, isn't it?
It's one you'd expect the keeper to save. And then the only thing that happened just before half time was Milner gets a crack to the side of the head.
Yeah.
When he gets up, you think, it'd be okay. Second half, we come out, and literally within a minute, Milner sat down. And we all think, he's pulled a hamstring or he's pulled a calf muscle. And you and me were both like, why does he come out then if he's got like a niggle? But you just seen him. He didn't really stretch for anything. He just went to block it, and he just looks over and goes, no, not good, and just sits down. And then when he comes off, you see the massive mark on the side of his head where he's took
it looks like a big egg up on the side, up on his forehead.
So you wonder if is that like a delayed concussion?
I think football has a real problem, and I've said it many times on this channel.
Yeah,
football has a real problem with concussions, and I was glad to see Ian Darke address it tonight, because Ian Darke comes from a boxing background, boxing commentary, and that was his bread and butter for years. Football is decades behind when it comes to concussion protocols. It needs to be properly assessed. You need to be able to take a player off, make a proper assessment, put on like a blood sub, and if the guy has to stay on, fine. If he doesn't have to stay off, you should be able to take him off and bring your other guy back on, and it shouldn't affect anything. The fact that you're seeing apparently with Son tonight, same thing. You ask any player, and any player will just tell a doctor exactly what he wants to hear, because they'll have prearranged exactly what I'm going to ask you during a concussion test. These are the answers you're going to give me, and I'll ask you if you're okay, and then you tell me the truth. But no player is ever going to turn around and say, yeah, I think I'm feeling a bit shaky. It's irresponsible of football and the governing bodies of football to leave that decision with players. It's wrong. It needs to change.
Yeah, that's true. But maybe that's where they look at doing independent doctors for that sort of testing. So there's no sort of conflict of interest. I know there shouldn't be, but that comes into it. Thor says, logic, Kev, actual analysis. You don't get likes for that. It's Redmen's money tonight. That's how you get
likes. I'll tell you what, you lot better be liking this video. This is proper levels.
Red Steve with his doctor's degree saying no guarantees concussion. It probably just hurt like fuck. He's not a robot, lads. There is also that. He just said this really hurts.
If James Milner says it hurts,
it fucking hurts. Yeah. So the second half, to be honest, they were a lot livelier. Napoli, they sort of up the tempo, pressed, and it's a silly free kick by Fabinho.
It was about his 76th foul,
and he still didn't get. And he still didn't get booked. I mean,
he's just got an angelic face, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he was a bit bizarre, the ref, because he literally let like kung fu kicks go, and then some of the LFC gave were like,
yeah, we'll come to that in a second, a minute. But
so free kick comes in, and look, the lad just looks unmarked. It's a good header, and you think, for fuck's sake, here we go, first goal again. That's what we want. And then 3.5 minutes it takes a VR to look at it to rule it out, which I found bizarre because I think on the second replay, you look at it and go, he looks off.
I said it. I text you at the time. I said that's off,
and then
you said back to me, is Osimhen interfering? I said no, he looks off.
And then they showed the second replay, and you went, "Oh, he's miles off. Not miles off, but he looks off."
Yeah,
but I can't believe it took so long for him to. I mean, that's where people get frustrated with VR.
When you saw the graphic and you saw where it was, they judge it by the shoulder width from like the top of the shoulder sleeve. It was half of that distance between the shoulder sleeve and the shoulder that he was off. It was that. It was nothing. But to be fair, it looked wrong. But this is the gamble that you take, because
Eunice is saying, even though it's barely off, that is poorly defended. Well, it depends. If you play at a high,
why in a minute.
Liverpool have always played this. Keep the line high. I mean, look, this season we'll be getting it drastically wrong, but that's how we've played for the last 2-3 years: is play it high and play for the offsides. And listen, last year we got loads of those sort of tight offside decisions because you time it right. Credit where the credit's due if you timed it right. When you don't time it right, you look stupid, and then look, you just have to get on with it. So that's what you say. But I mean, that was their first real, what you say, big chance. I mean, it certainly doesn't count as a chance because it's offside. But you were saying before, Kev, like, if you look at the quality chance they had, the XG, they weren't like high ones.
No, their total XG for the game was 0.48. Ours was 2.6 or 2.7 or something like that. But I'll just quickly say this. The reason why it's not poor defending is because you stick or twist. You hold or you don't. If you decide that you're going to drop, then you line up differently. You line up on the 6-yard box and you face the ball coming in. If you're going to hold the line, you hold it. And the thing is, like you said, if someone times the run, if the ball is perfect and they time the run perfectly and they get a goal, fine. But more often than not, the longer you go in games, that's not going to happen. More often than not, you're going to catch. I'd nearly throw a percentage on it. I reckon you'd throw 95% of the time that ball comes in, you either clear it or you get them offside. And for the odd time that someone is going to score, okay. But I think the way that was defended, the way they held the line, and the fact that it was first game back, and he held and held and held, I thought it was brilliant. I was delighted for him. I was delighted it was offside, but I was delighted for the way the line held. I thought that was brilliant defending.
Plus, we've always scarred this is how bad we've been defending. So I think there's the natural action of just shooting every goal concedes a shit goal or a bad or a bit lucky. So Brian says, thought Jones looked a lot better. Funny how players look better in a more natural position, in a more natural role.
Makes a big difference, Brian, doesn't it?
It does make a big difference, which it does help a lot. Plus, the lad's come back from a stress fracture in his tibia. I mean, it's only like his third game back, if that. He's not been back for very long. So, look, he came off on 73 minutes for Darwin Nunez. I'll be honest, I think the reason Jones came off was because I just think he'd ran his race a little bit because of lack of game time. Darwin, really good impact. That is what you want from your main striker.
And plus the fact that he was playing out wide, and he's got that injection of pace. He's got that thing that defenders. He's got pace, and he's got the confidence to take a player on, and he doesn't care which side. He'll go inside and he can go outside. He has no problem going either way. He can go on his left foot and take fullback on the outside, or he could check, come back in, and go again with his pace. Yeah, if you're a fullback and you're seeing him coming on with 25 minutes to go and you're on jelly legs, yeah, I agree with Kieran what he's saying there. Bobby did look tired.
Yeah, we thought he might have come off a bit sooner than he did because he's done a lot of games back to back. What Darwin's got really good at, especially when he goes out wide, is he's very good doing that, slowing the game down to then
to speed it up again. Yeah.
So then speed it up again.
Yeah.
As a fullback, there's nothing worse when someone can do that to you, because he had a couple of crosses that came that didn't quite come off. But but talk about his goals. The first goal then. So it's actually, I can't work it was Virgil or Darwin heads it. I mean,
it was Darwin heads it.
The
Darwin took it off.
The keeper makes it right. The keeper makes it right. Fuck up with it really, because he should do better with it. But look, Mo's where you want him to be.
Yeah, Mo's Johnny on the spot.
7 goals, 6 Champions League games. First time he's ever done 5 games consecutive in the Champions League scoring. That's all you need. Could do him just doing that in the league a little bit more. And we'll be sorted.
Yeah, for sure.
But for Mo, that'll do his confidence. For Mo, that'll do his confidence some good. I know we don't talk about Mo as a lad who loses confidence, but he must know, everyone talks about it, must know he's only got 3 or 4 goals in the league, and he knows everyone will look at him for that.
Yeah, I think he's always been that kind of player. His instinct is good. His instinct to where a ball is going to drop and where a ball is going to fall is really good. But he's always been that Johnny on the spot kind of forward, and the amount of goals he gets, the amount of little tap-ins he gets. But I was the same as you. I didn't know if it was Virgil or Darwin that got on it, and it was Darwin who got on it, and that's an extra threat of having someone like that in the box as well. You don't have to just Fabinho, Konate, Virgil, and then throw Darwin into the mix as well. That's 4 good, strong headers of a ball, all 6 foot plus with that. It's like it's a nice threat to have.
Yes, and then obviously we get the second goal in the 98th minute. So I mean, again, as Dino points out, the contrary was dying to disallow it. I mean, most of it, I said to you, I said, "Oh, that looks just off that," because Virgil looks fuming because I think he thinks Darwin was nicked. Because he thinks Darwin was nicked his goal. I actually don't think it's going to go in. I think the keeper would have got the.
The keeper saved it.
Keep saying it, but I don't think it would have rolled in. I think keeper would have actually got to it. So he has to kick it in. And you said goal. I went, oh, he looks just off. And it was the left back I'd not noticed. Further out the screenshot, you went, oh, yeah. And you're like,
you look at where.
That's where you want number 9. That's where you want number 9 to be, though, isn't it?
It was Zielinski who was coming out too slowly. And, as someone said there, he had chances against it. It was the same kind of chances he had against Forest. And it looked like he was putting meat in those headers tonight as well. And again, it's just the accuracy. A foot either side, and it's in. And that'll get him on the run because he looks like he's getting chances every game. But Darwin slots it in and just reward, really. The only quarrel I had with him tonight was when he got booked on another night.
For his stupid throwing the
on another night, another referee will send him off for that. There's no need of it.
He just needs to curb his
control that aggression a bit. He needs to control. I want to see the aggression coming out in him. I want to see that South American nastiness in his game. But you've got to curb it when you're in a box and it's your other arm that's coming across the front of a guy's head, not the back of the guy's head that makes it look like an accident. He's got to learn how to describe those movements. Just hide them a bit better. But yeah, overall, really happy. I was happy with all the subs tonight because all the subs that came on tonight contributed. And we said when the first goal went in, Klopp made the changes, and it was like, this is a big test.
Yeah, there's a lot of youth. We'll come back to the goals there. Eunice asking how many goals is Nunez on now. I've just checked on FC history. He's on 7 now. 3 in the league, 3 in Europe, and then the one in the Charity Shield. Super Dizzy saying, I wish Mo had anticipated that touch on that cross. I mean, he's pretty good, Mo, but I don't think he can't judge everything.
That one.
That's really good. It's really good defender when you see the replay.
Yeah, and that one that he had when he it went straight to the keeper. It was off his left foot, and it was almost he got too good a contact on it. If he shinned that or got half of his foot on it either side again, that just goes off to the side, and the keeper hasn't a clue. He has no chance. It was almost his contact was too true, and it just lobbed straight into the keeper's hands,
Yeah, and then Dan also makes a good point. The last 10 minutes with the young guns on was pretty good, wasn't it? It was, because let's be honest, it wasn't like we brought Brojetic on and left Thiago on. He came on for Thiago.
He looks so confident on the ball, doesn't he?
Yeah, Carvalho came on, was lively. I thought his defensive work was a lot better. And young Ramsey came on for Trent, and it was good.
He looked good. He looked fine. He did everything he was asked to do. There was one ball that came across from their right. Across it came in over Konate's head, and he just got it on his chest and put it out for a corner. Simple thing, but it's exactly what you want to do. No messing, no dilly-dallying, just get the ball out, put it safe, reset, and then go again. It's exactly what you want.
Shane saying Nunez was electric off the bench, looks better coming off the bench than he does starting, causes chaos. I think he's that type of player, to be honest. I think he's just
unfortunately we don't have the luxury of having him as a bench option.
Yeah, I think Eunice asked. I think Eunice asked earlier. I've lost the comment now. Was asking, what does this say about Joe Gomez because he didn't start tonight? But I sort of feel Joe's done a lot of games back to back, and look, I know I've obviously had some criticism because I thought he was all right against West Ham. Nothing great, just all right. But he's been poor the last 2-3 games, so it almost felt like a game I think he needed to be pulled out of. Yeah, because and unfortunately, there's only. I'll be honest, Fabinho probably needs to be pulled out for a couple of games, but we literally haven't got any centre mids at the name. What helps me don't sign one.
Yeah, look, so I mean, it's a squad game, and Joe Gomez is going to be a valuable member of the squad. He's 24 years of age. Can't keep making the excuses that they're learning their trade. He's an experienced centre back, but at the same time, if you have 4 centre backs in your team and Joe Gomez is your 3rd or 4th choice, fine, no problem there with me.
Yeah. So, shall we just quickly go through the 11 and the subs and just sort of give a bit of a couple of points, what we thought of each one?
Yeah.
Ali, I thought he was good tonight. He made was a save near, you say to me, a save quite near the end, which looked quite routine when it deflects off Trent. It's actually quite, we've seen them bounce over keepers' legs and go in. Yeah. But I thought, handling was fine, it was solid, distribution was decent, standard.
The one thing I loved about Ali was in injury time, I think 2 minutes to go or 3 minutes to go, and he launches one. To get a counter attack going. Love that. Absolutely love that. When every other keeper in the world is killing the game, diving on the ball, looking like a numpty, he sees the opportunity to get a counter attack, to get the game to 2-0 and kill it off, and he does it. Love it.
Oh, speaking of counter attacks, was it 97th? In fact, it leads up to the second goal.
Yeah, it does.
Elliot gets the ball in the box, calmly plays it through to Mo, and to be fair to Mo, he just runs and pressures the centre back and gets us all at the pitch and pressures the corner. That took all the pressure. Because then you're going like, it's 30 seconds to go here. I think,
but that was brilliant.
1-0, that'll do.
Yeah,
and then we get the goal from it. So again, that's the sort of thing we haven't been doing as well. Trent, I thought Trent was all right today.
Yeah, I thought he was fine. That was a really stiff test. That left winger is a good player, really good player, and he'll torture fullbacks, and he has been torturing fullbacks all season long. He was quick enough to match Osimhen for pace as well at times. His passing out was really good. His crossfield balls were there. I thought I'd give him 7.5 out of 10. No problem.
Yeah, Konaté, excellent. Loved his runs from deep. One of some free kicks high up the air. He's so dominant in the air, and his passing's getting better and better.
Yeah.
His pace just gives us that something extra, especially when you've got that rapid winger. It helps you double up in it. DVD.
Him and Virgil look good. I think Osimhen is another one going into the game tonight. You look at Victor Osimhen, and he doesn't like physicality. No, his confidence is through the roof, and Virgil snapped into tackles, gave him nothing, gave him no rest, and that was a dominant Virgil tonight. That was the Virgil you want to see more and more of. I'm really pleased for him. He put a statement on that game, and he killed off Victor Osimhen tonight. He just gave him absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Supercast thought he was solid. He was annoying me in the first 25 minutes because he did seem to switch off a couple of times with his winger, but that's probably nitpicking a little bit. But overall, solid, and also it gives Robbo a rest, which is always handy.
Yeah, he was good. He was a more lively of the two fullbacks going forward. He was always on the overlap. It was like, right, you go, Trent, you sit in a bit more. But yeah, he was always there to link with Thiago and to link with Curtis. And I suppose when you're that high up the pitch, you're gonna leave space in behind, and good sides will find that space in behind. And a couple of times it happened, but it was pretty much dealt with really on the night by Virgil. So yeah, he was good. No complaints with him at all. Happy.
Yeah. James Milner, he always divides opinion when he starts, but I thought Milner did really well. I thought he covered over the right again, because obviously that's where the threat was. I think the plan was probably to do an hour before we took him off, but I thought all in all he was fine. Fabinho, I've got to be honest, thought he struggled. I just thought he struggled all game. I thought
I didn't see. I thought he did the shit that you want him to do really well.
I don't think so. That was intended though. I just think he was. I think he's just slow to the ball, slow to tackle. Yeah, I thought his passing was quite sloppy, so he didn't really impress me. If I'm being
but I think honest. To be fair to him, that midfield three of theirs, or two of those three, will start most games, and Anguissa in the first game ran midfield, and tonight their midfield really didn't win the battle. So we won the battle in midfield. Granted, we didn't get the control that you normally get, but we didn't let their midfield dictate, and that's what they've been really good at. They had to work for every inch of possession that they had, and it was telling that more often than not, every time they got it, they went wide. They didn't go through the middle. They looked mainly to go left, onto their left winger to try to force mistakes out of Trent, and more often than not, it didn't happen. But yeah, I get what you're saying, that he looked a bit slower to the ball, but to me, that three in midfield, for the age and everything that's in it, I think it worked because they just had the nous, that bit of experience.
I think it worked as in Europe. I'm not sure you want to be doing that midfield.
No,
in a Prem game. But look,
definitely not back to back kind of things. But you can
it's a horse was it? Thiago, really good. Passing was excellent. Probably should do better with his shot. Defensive work. Kind of a standard Thiago performance. I think we're just getting used to when he's good like that's kind of what you expect, really, isn't it? Mo, I thought he was lively at times. I think that young fullback did give him some hard work, but he always, at least he was sort of involved in the game. Or we've had too many games where Mo's just been like, you forgot he was there. He's non-existent.
Yeah.
Bobby, he looked a bit out of his feet.
Yeah, he looked a bit tired tonight, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the one I didn't think would start, to be honest.
Yeah, he looked like a bit of a spare part in a lot of it. He didn't really get involved as much as you'd like, but at the same time, he's one of these guys that can just pop up and do a flick and get a return ball and knock one in. He's always got that kind of thing in his locker. You know what I mean?
We saw that with the Jones header, didn't we? The back heel flick, which nearly set up Jones for a goal. Yeah. Jones, best game he's had this season. I thought he was probably our man of the match, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I was really, really happy with his performance. I think him and Ibu were standouts tonight, but I wouldn't fight you too hard on it. I thought he was really good. Everything that you wanted him to do, he did. Won his battles. I thought he did really well against his fullback. Defensive work was good, and he looked like when he was on the ball, something was going to happen, and he had the confidence to keep the ball and look after it and run at players. He didn't want to give it away all the time. He didn't mind taking a touch and running it back into danger and try to force something to happen. Yeah, I was happy with him tonight.
Yeah, in terms of sub, Elliot came on early for Milner. Elliot, I thought he was lively. I thought he spread play out, and his defensive work is getting much, much better. He's in the right places. He's making the right choices, which you want from him in a Liverpool midfield. And look, his attacking play was really good. And, it's his pass that sets Mo off that helps set up the second. Yeah. And then with the three young lads who all came at the same time, Bajcetic just looks, every time I've seen him play, he just looks very mature for his age, looks comfortable on the ball. I thought he was, he looked good. Good test for him as well, because, with the 7 minutes added time. Carvalho looked
fine.
Looked fine. Again,
Ramsey was the one that I was looking for, and I thought, okay, this is a real acid test here. because they're going to come and they're going to come hard. And here you are, coming on at Anfield, Champions League debut. You know, he'd have been building up in his head for months. You know, when am I going to get my chance? Here you go. And I thought he did everything that was asked of him. He looked like he wanted the ball. He didn't have a problem taking the ball, making a turn when he needed to, giving it simple. You know, time will tell for him, but and he looks he looks a strapping lad.
Yeah, I think someone said earlier he's deceptively tall.
He's about 6 foot. Well, he's 5'11", 6 footish.
Yeah,
and he's quick enough as well.
Yeah, Bonker said man of the match. Canati, honourable mention to Thiago and Nunez. David Mathis has said Nunez's forearm for man of the match. So, so a couple things before we go then. So Dino said, random question: would you take Zaha in January as a cheap deal to cover us in wide positions, just to give us a bit more pace?
I would, but I don't think he would, and I don't think he should.
Okay.
And I'll be really honest. If I was his agent, I'm telling him to stay at Palace for the rest of your career. You be the big fish in the small pond. You're the main man. You'll play all the time, and when you retire, they'll love you forever. That's what I'm telling him as his agent, because he's never going to put his hand in his pocket and feel his leg. And at this stage of his career, if he's not going to play, then why the hell would you bother leaving? I would find that really weird.
Red Steve said, man of the match is Gav for not subbing himself in just because we won a game.
He never does, to be fair.
No, he doesn't, to be fair. I think the only show he's been on is because literally I think half of us were away. So
yeah.
So Jake saying last 16s that Liverpool could face them, guaranteed as either FC Porto, Bayern Munich, and then it's either Real Madrid or RB Leipzig. I think it is Real Madrid though, because I think
it's Madrid. Yeah,
I think because of the head-to-head, I don't think RB Leipzig can overtake them. And then it's either PSG or Benfica, depending on how they do in their games. So I think the obvious one is
for us it's Porto all day long.
It's Porto or Benfica if they finish top of the group, which I think is highly unlikely.
You got to look at it the other way. Which of those sides will want to play us? And the answer is none of them, because we will get it right. It will come right. I've no doubt. And if we go into the January window and do some smart business, February is a long way away. We could be in a much stronger position by then.
We hope we are anyway.
Yeah, you look at it, and we could be in a situation saying, "Bring anyone on, don't care."
Archie said, "Can we get Benfica so Nunez can get a hat trick?" That'd be an interesting.
Yeah, and go and celebrate as well.
Yeah,
which I reckon he would. I reckon he would as well. I think he might not on the first one, but I reckon in the second and third he would. He'd give it stonkers. Don't worry.
I think he'd celebrate the first one and just sort of lay them down afterwards. I'm sick of the piss now, lads. So anything else we need to bring up, Kev? Oh, we've got 5 minutes on our charity as well. Bear with me 2 seconds. Sorry, I should have had this prepared on my screen. It's got off screen. So the other one is these have been in the link below. It's for Linda's endometriosis battle. Details are all in the description below. But look, as Kev would always say, it's the €5 and €10 that gets this done. She needs to raise $5K, Kev, for
it's 5,000. It's 5,000. I don't know. It's £5,000 or €5,000. It's not. I mean, it's not an insignificant sum of money, but we've done this before, and we know how we can get this done. And I've read through I've read through her story, and just go and check it out. Go and click on the link in our pinned tweet on Twitter. Have a look through her bio, the story, and like I said, if you can give, please do. If you can't, please share. Share costs absolutely nothing, but 2 minutes of your time. Just click share, and the sooner we can get this girl to 5K, the sooner she can get her operation, and that'll be the best thing for everyone for Christmas and happy days.
Yeah, because she's only 18. So, I mean, I've had family members who've had endometriosis, and I must admit, the enlightening thing for me was I didn't realize you could get it in every organ.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that sort of illness. I actually thought it was. I thought it was a condition you got that was only within the womb, or your fallopian tubes. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of an education for me because I know
the poor kid is 17 years of age and she's
Yeah.
literally in agony 24/7. Can't step outside the house. You can imagine the mental side of this as well, and the pressure on the family because it is a strain. But for a 17-year-old, I mean, my youngest is 17. Oh no, she's 18 now. But to imagine, well, I look at her and she's going out on the weekends, she's going out enjoying herself and having fun with her friends like a normal 18-year-old should do. And to think that this 17-year-old kid can't go outside the front door for the sake of this operation, this 5K, it's tough, and if we can do anything that we can do to help, we will. And we'll never shut up about it. So sorry in the chat, we just won't.
Well, I'll be honest, we're not sorry.
No, we're not sorry at all.
We're not sorry.
Did that sound sincere?
You sounded sincere, but I was thinking like we don't actually mean that.
No, we don't. No, of course we don't.
We're not sorry. We'll keep bringing it. We'll keep bringing it up at every show until we
exactly
hit the 5K.
Until we hit the 5K.
So get used to it really. So if you don't want to hear us talk about it, gives you money and
gives you money.
Gives you money.
My best Bob Geldof, give us your effing money. If you're old enough,
So rest of the week. So there'll be a midweek fix tomorrow.
Yes.
We have the viewer's voice on Thursday. Do you know?
Think so.
I'm recording a women's show on Thursday, which will probably be out hopefully around the weekend. So I've got Neil Atkinson, BBC's Emma Sanders, and Philippa Smallwood again. So we'll be doing a review of the opening 5 games, which it was.
Philip is actually a great follow on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, she's brilliant. She's great crack.
She's heavily involved with the Women's Supporters Club as well. I think she's actually the treasurer for them as well. So and they're doing lots of good stuff as well. So look, it was always. I mean, you spoke of this preseason. I said look, the opening 5-6 games that is mentally tough for Liverpool. So they just need to get through them, and then this is the run where they could try and pick some points up. But listen, they pushed City to. I think they're within, width of a post of getting over 2-2 at City. You know, so, and I'll be honest, the years I've been following Liverpool women, it's not very often we've gone to City and actually really competed that closely for a long time. So, look, the early signs are there, which is
that'd be a good chat. Friday night, we're going to have a look through at the Spurs game and a few other games as well for the weekend.
Yeah, I think I'm on this week, aren't I? I think
you are.
I've been allowed back for this one, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, there'll be a full-time Reds after the Tottenham game, which will be Kev and probably Matt. I'm at a christening, so it won't be me. I'll be drunk again.
Good lad. Nice one.
and then proper order. And then the cycle starts again. And then Kev, we'll have to think what we're going to do over the World Cup, aren't we? When there's no football to talk about.
I think there's definitely something in the works for the World Cup. Keep your ears posted for content during the World Cup.
It's not one of my quizzes.
No, definitely not. It's actually there is some content coming in for the World Cup, so we'll see how it goes. But there definitely is stuff coming up, loads of stuff coming up over the next few weeks and months ahead. But listen, thanks everyone for being involved, for staying in the chat, and for knocking in your contributions. Much appreciated. If you could please smash the like button and hit the subscribe button on your way out, we would really appreciate it. It really help us out. Yeah. So until then, guys, like, share, as Kev says, and look, we'll be back very soon. Fingers crossed. Liverpool have won. We're into the knockout stage of the Champions League. Let's hope we can sort of use this as a building block to start to build a bit of a better season for us. Until then, guys, take care, and we'll speak to you very, very soon.